Hey everyone, and welcome back to Earlville Library District's Virtual Crochet. We've made it! We're here today to work on square number 10, the last square in this pattern by Yarnspirations, the Checkerboard Textures Crochet Throw, and very soon, the very next video you see will be us putting that together. So today we're working on square number 10. It's this one. Yours won't necessarily look like this because I was just trying to use up scraps for the colors that I had used throughout the blanket. So I have these stripes. I also have a brown solid color one that you'll see later on in the video that probably more accurately represents what you'll be working on. But I have these stripes because I was just trying to eke out the last square in these corresponding colors. So here it is. Here's a closer up look of the square. We're going to be alternating between some double crochet and slip stitches, and that's going to create sort of a bunched up or bubble double crochet texture for this last square number 10. So grab your hooks, and in just a minute we'll get started. First, I wanted to remind everyone that we are meeting in person, so if you would like to, please come to the library on the second and last Wednesdays of each month. There is a calendar on display in the library if you'd like to jot down the dates specifically, or follow us on our crochet Facebook page to keep updated. If you're just finding out about this project and you want to join along, we do have printed out patterns from the Yarnspiration pattern website that you can come and grab at the library if you'd like, or head on over to their website and grab a copy for yourself. Okay, square number 10. Let's get started. To get started, we're going to use a hook like we have been using that is one size smaller than the hook we used for the granny square. For me, that's an H, so size your hook accordingly. And then we're going to start off with a slip stitch, or a slip knot here. For more detailed instructions on how to make a slip knot, see any one of our beginning square videos in this series. It says to chain 36 loosely. We've been doing that for a while now. So I'll throw those on here and I will see you when I have 36. I have 36 chains on my foundation row here, and I'm ready for row number 1. The first row instructions say to work in back loops only, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain to end of chain. So that's going to give us 35 single crochets when we're done, and it's basically just a row of single crochets, and we're only going to go in that back loop, something by this point we are also pretty familiar with. So I'm going to take a look at my work here, and I'm going to skip the chain that's attached to my hook right here, because it says to skip the first one, and into the second chain we'll put our first single crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook under that top loop, not through both loops like we would for a traditional starting row, just that back loop, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2. And we're going to do that again with the next stitch next door. We can see that the arms of that single crochet are coming out of this chain, so we know that this is our next stitch to work. Insert the hook, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2, and I'll see you at the end. Here I am at the last chain on my row, so I'm going to put 1 single crochet in this last chain here, and we will have completed row number 1. So we should have a row of 35. This is a good time to count them and make sure. 35 single crochets. And now we're ready for row 2. For row 2 we're going to chain 1. So we yarn over and draw that yarn through the loop on our hook. Turn our work to go the other way. And we're going to put a slip stitch in the first stitch and 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to alternate between those slip stitches and double crochets for the whole row. So in our first available stitch right here, we are going to work in both loops now because it doesn't say not to. And we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, bring that yarn through the stitch, and we're going to bring it through the loop on your hook for a slip stitch. Then we're going to double crochet in the next available stitch, and we'll yarn over, insert our hook in both of the loops of the next stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. and then we'll put a slip stitch next door in the next available stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over back through, and through the loop on your stitch. No extra yarning over there. Double crochet comes next. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and slip stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over back through, all the things. And you're going to continue alternating between slip stitches and double crochets until you get to the end of the row. Alright, if everything has worked out correctly, we are ready to put a slip stitch. Oh, sorry for the train. I probably should have waited. We're going to put a slip stitch in the last available stitch here in this row. And that's where we should end. There we have our slip stitch. Now, when you're done with this row, you're looking at the back of it. So if you flip it over, you can see all of that texture that's created by making a tall stitch, the double crochet, and making the single or the slip stitch next door a small stitch that kind of makes that double crochet crunch down and create like a little bubble. Alright, so here's where we ended, and we're ready now for row 3. For this row, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're ready to turn our work. We can see all of our cool texture here, and we're ready to put 1 double crochet in each double crochet and slip stitch to the end of the row. So we ended on a slip stitch, so that's what's waiting for us here. It's connected to this turning chain, so we're going to not worry about that. It's kind of already got a double crochet if you think about the turning chain like a double crochet. So we're going to look at this stitch here, our kind of bubble stitch, our double crochet from the row below. Yarn over, and right on top there is a nice little hole to go in. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 for our first double crochet. Next door you can see this stitch here, that's our slip stitch. We're going to put a double crochet in there. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and it's time to go in on top of this next double crochet from the row below. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and next door here's our slip stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So this is just a nice easy row of double crochets in each double crochet from the row below and each slip stitch from the row below. I'll see you at the end. Here I am at the end of the row, and I have room for 1 double crochet in this double crochet from the row below, and 1 double crochet in the last slip stitch here at the end of the row. And that finishes our row number 3. Now we're ready for row 4. For this row, we're going to chain 1, yarn over through the loop, turn it around, and we're on the back again so we can't really see any of the cool texture. And we're going to chain 1, which we did, and we're going to slip stitch in the first stitch and then double crochet in the next, and we're going to repeat that pattern just like we did on this row below, all along this row. So slip stitch in the first here, we're going to insert the hook, yarn over back through and back through the loop on the hook, no yarning over. Double crochets next, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and a slip stitch. No yarning over, just insert the hook and draw it back through the stitch and the loop. And you're going to continue alternating between double crochets. Oops, that was not a thing. You're going to continue alternating between double crochets and slip stitches until you get to the end of the row. Alright, at the end of the row here, I have room for a double crochet in my last double crochet and a slip stitch in the top of my turning chain. And that completes row number 4. Now for rows 5 through 30, we're going to repeat the last 2 rows. So you're going to alternate as we turn here. You would chain 3 because we're going to repeat the directions for row 3. 1, 2, 3. And on this row, we're simply going to double crochet in each double crochet and each slip stitch on down the line. And then when we get to this edge, we're going to chain 1, turn around, and we'll alternate between those slip stitches and double crochets. So one row will have the alternating pattern to create the texture, and one row is just double crochets. So you're going to want to crochet row 5 through 30 this way, and then meet back here for the border. Here's my other example that I have in brown, and we're ready to do the border on this example. So you can see I have ended on a row of alternating between slip stitches and double crochets. So that's how you'll know if you're in the right place, and we're ready to start our border. And we're not going to turn it or anything. We're just going to insert our hook into that last stitch we left off with. And to start the border, we are going to chain 1. So there's my chain, and we're going to start off with a corner, and that is our good old single crochet, chain 3, single crochet. So we're going to insert our hook into that very corner stitch, yarn over back through, yarn over through 2, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put another single crochet right in that same stitch, and that gives us our corner loopy. We're ready to keep going, and it says to put 1 single crochet in each remaining single crochet to the last stitch. So whereas usually we would put a double crochet and then a double crochet where the slip stitch is, double crochet where the double crochet is, like we have been doing, we're just going to put single crochets all down the line. So you should have 33 of those when you're done here. So I'll put 1 in the double crochet, 1 in the slip stitch, 1 in the double crochet, and the slip stitch, and keep going until you get to the end. So that gives me 1 more stitch over here after I've finished all my single crochets, and this is where I'm going to put another corner loopy. So we're going to put a single crochet in the end there, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put another single crochet right in that same stitch we've been working on. Second corner loopy, so now we have 2. Rotating our work, we're going to work down the edge on this side. And to do that, we're told to put a stitch marker in rows 5, 11, 17, and 23. So let's tackle that first. That's 4 rows, 5, 11, 17, and 23. So let's figure that out first. Our first row is actually over here on this side, so where our tail is. So we can start counting there. And this was our foundation row of single crochets, and then we had our second row where we alternated, third was just double crochets, fourth alternated, fifth double crochets. So that's our first row to mark here at the end. So I will do that. Row 5, and we'll keep counting to 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll put another stitch marker there. Moving down, we have row 17, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Put 1 there, and 23. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Stitch marker goes there. She'll left these unclipped so that they were easy to remove. Okay, so now the instructions say that we're going to put 1 single crochet in the end of each marked slip stitch row, and a single crochet in top of and around each post of each double crochet row. Let's go ahead and skip this textured row here. That's our slip stitch row, and we're going to put 1 single crochet around the post of the next double crochet and a single crochet in the side of that double crochet on the end. And then we're going to go ahead and skip this next textured row. That's a slip stitch row, and we're going to put a single crochet around the post of the next double crochet and through the middle of it. So every double crochet row gets 2 single crochets. And we're going to skip this row, and we're going to put 1 around the double crochet and 1 inside the double crochet. And we'll skip this row, and then we're going to put one around the next double crochet and inside the next double crochet. And here we have a stitch marker, so I'll remove that, and then we'll go ahead and put a single crochet in that slip stitch space right there. Now we have another double crochet, so we can go around and through the middle of, skip this row, the slip stitch row. For the next double crochet row, we'll go around and inside. And for the next row, we'll go around and inside. And we've come upon another stitch marker, so I'll remove that and go ahead and place a single crochet in that marked row. And then we will go around and inside the next one, and so on and so forth until you get to the end. Alright, so you should have 33, not counting the single crochet that belongs to your corner loopy over here. If you've got 33 single crochets, you're ready for your third corner. So we will find the last stitch here, put a single crochet in there, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put a single crochet right back in that same stitch for our next corner loopy. We should have 3 at this point. And we're going to rotate our work again, and that means we are ready to put one single crochet in each stitch all along the bottom here. These are the 2 loops of the chain we didn't use when we made our foundation row, so they're a little bit easier to spot than the stuff on the sides. So we'll insert our hook into what we can determine is maybe the first one here, and keep going in each of those chains from your foundation row until you get to the end of the row. Alright, I've got 33 single crochets again for this bottom row, and I'm ready for another corner loopy. So I'll find my corner stitch here and do a single crochet, chain 3, and another single crochet in that same stitch for our 4th corner loopy. Rotate once more, and we're going to do the edge opposite the edge we did just a minute ago. So this one's going to be worked the same way. Place your stitch markers in rows 5, 11, 17, and 23. And when you come to those slip stitch rows, you're going to add a single crochet. Rewind the video and mimic the directions for this row if you need, and I'll see you when I'm over here. After your 33rd stitch on this final side, we're ready to slip stitch and join into our first single crochet. That's a part of our first corner loopy over here, and we'll be finished. So yarn, or no yarn over, just insert that hook, yarn over back through, and back through the loop on your hook for our slip stitch. Pull your needle long, and we're ready to snip off our excess, leaving a little bit of a tail there, and we can open up our finishing loop and send our tail right through, cinch it up, and we have square number 10. And there you have it, that's square number 10, which is actually the 11th square that you've completed if you've been on this journey with us from the very beginning. The first square we did was our granny square, and here we are on the 10th textured square for 11 different patterns altogether, which is quite an accomplishment. You've probably learned a lot of stitches by this point and a lot of different techniques that will help you do other projects in the future. Really appreciate everyone who has stuck it out with me. Don't forget to send us pictures on our Facebook page, either the crochet page for the library or our just general Facebook page. Send us a message with the pictures of the stuff you're working on so that I can see all of your fun crochet from home. And get ready, because the next video you see will be us finally putting together all of the squares in our blanket. Now, if you followed the pattern and used one solid square, you won't have this differentiation in color, but I do because I wanted to use up yarn that I already had. A problem that has plagued my entire life. I don't always listen, sometimes you just gotta buy some new yarn, but Anyway, that's why I have different colors. So you'll get to see me attach all the squares, and you'll attach all the squares, and then the next video or videos, not sure how long the border's gonna take because it's like a lot of rows. It's like 12 rounds and it's gonna take a long time to film. So I don't know how many videos that's gonna be quite yet, but we are well on our way to completing this very long virtual project. Remember, we are meeting in person if you'd like to stop by. Also, it's summertime now, so we have other fun things and programs out. Coming in June, we're going to do a lot of fun things here at the library. You can come join book club in person again. We're going to run one of those. And we've got giveaways coming up. Make sure you're signed up for our newsletter. Talk to a librarian about that. Keep watching these videos and our podcasts and all the other cool things we have on YouTube. Stop by the library, say hello, and I will finally stop talking and see you all next time. Bye!